Have you ever wondered how international conflicts can impact the real estate markets around the world? It may seem far-fetched, but in our globally interconnected world, events in one corner can send ripples across oceans to influence markets in unexpected places. One such instance is the recent conflict in Israel and Palestine. While it may appear disconnected, it has potential implications for the real estate sector thousands of miles away in Canada. The link between international conflicts and real estate may not be immediately apparent, but when you consider factors such as global economic shifts, changes in migrant labor, and fluctuating investment patterns, the connection begins to crystallize. In the next few minutes, we will explore this intricate web of global events and their local impacts. So fasten your seatbelts as we delve into the specifics of how this conflict could affect the Canadian housing market. To understand the potential impact, we first need to take a look at the state of the Canadian real estate market before the conflict. The Canadian housing market was, for lack of a better term, bubbly. It was rapidly expanding, with house prices skyrocketing. In fact, the city of Toronto was considered to have the world's bubbliest housing market. The median home price had reached a staggering $1.2 million, tripling over the last 25 years. But this housing boom was not without its issues. The Bank of Canada's fight against inflation resulted in high mortgage rates. This, in turn, began to offset the affordability gains from the housing boom, leading to a slow decline in housing activity. The rise in mortgage rates, coupled with a supply-demand imbalance, reduced home sales and new construction. So here's the picture. A bubbly market with rising house prices, high mortgage rates, and a significant supply-demand imbalance. It was a delicate balance, teetering on the edge of affordability, so that was the pre-conflict scenario. Now, let's explore what could happen post-conflict. Now that we understand the pre-conflict situation, let's explore what might change due to the conflict in Israel and Palestine. The international conflict has the potential to disrupt the Canadian real estate market in several ways. One of the most immediate impacts could be a shift in investor confidence. Global conflicts tend to create uncertainty, and real estate, often viewed as a safe haven in turbulent times, may see an influx of investors looking for stability. This could potentially drive up demand and prices in the short term. However, the ripple effects of the conflict could also lead to changes in global economic trends. For instance, the conflict could contribute to rising inflation and interest rates worldwide. In fact, we're already seeing central banks, like the Bank of Canada, ramping up efforts to combat inflation, leading to higher mortgage rates. This, in turn, could make housing less affordable, leading to a slowdown in sales, and possibly even a housing market correction. Moreover, the conflict could redirect capital flows. For instance, migrant workers, who make up a significant part of Israel's foreign workforce, often send remittances back to their home countries. With the recent increase in violence, these remittances could decrease, impacting their home countries' economies and potentially affecting the Canadian real estate market indirectly. Another aspect to consider is the potential for a housing market correction. Economists predict declines of 15 to 20% in some markets due to the combined impact of rising interest rates, declining sales, and increasing unemployment. If these predictions hold true, Canada's bubbliest housing market, Toronto, where house prices have tripled in the last 25 years, could face a significant downturn. These are speculations based on current trends and historical data, but the actual impact may vary. It's important to remember that real estate markets are complex and influenced by a multitude of factors, including local economic conditions, government policies, and individual buyer and seller decisions. So while we can make educated guesses, the future of the Canadian real estate market remains to be seen. Let's recap what we've discussed today. We started by examining the pre-conflict state of the Canadian real estate market, which was characterized by high demand, soaring prices, and a housing bubble in cities like Toronto. The market was already facing challenges due to rising mortgage rates and inflationary pressures. We then delved into the potential impacts of the Israel-Palestine conflict on this landscape. The crisis could lead to a shift in global economic dynamics, potentially affecting migrant labor, which in turn could influence the construction and caregiving industries, sectors crucial to real estate. In terms of post-conflict scenarios, we touched on varying possibilities. The conflict could result in an economic downturn, leading to a decrease in real estate demand and prices. Conversely, it might also drive international investors to seek stability in Canadian real estate, pushing prices higher. It's important to note that these are just potential outcomes, and the actual impact will depend on various factors, including the duration and severity of the conflict, global economic trends, and policy responses from governments and central banks. International conflicts can have far-reaching impacts, even in areas like real estate. It's a reminder of how interconnected our world truly is.